Hi, Simon. Thanks for joining us today. Really wanted to pick your brains today on how we're working together and how Norse Group is working in the public sector, in particular with the new PA 2023 regulations and legislation that's just come out. There's a lot of information online, but I'm not sure that all the companies and organisations that are working with it fully understand the implications of it, also the positive benefits as well. Really keen to speak to you today on that.
Morning, Matt. So yeah, I'm the head of group procurement for Norse and the Norse Group, which are a UK-wide business. I've been in the procurement business now myself for 27 years. The last 10 of that, 10 to 12 years, have all been within public sector. I've worked closely with the Cabinet Office and a number of different areas of government in the sort of structure and the creation of PA 2023. Norse are a local authority trading company, a LATCO, so we have to operate in the public sector. We do that for a number of local councils. Where our expertise is a real wide range of procurement and a lot of skill set. So, yeah, that's me, and that's what Norse Group does.
Okay, fantastic. And I get the feeling that Norse has commercial leanings. Certainly, it's a public company, but why is it more crucial for public sector businesses in general to be more commercial and work in similar ways to that which Norse does?
I think public sector, it's always had to be, but it hasn't been, has it? So I think at the moment there is about a 2 billion shortfall in funds for local authorities at present, and all of these budget cuts, of course, are real as well. So I can't really remember a time quite like this, where it seems everyone's purse strings are at full stretch. The Labour government are quite rightly pushing for every public pound to be spent wisely, and where there are areas that do not add value, they're facing being cut completely. So it's always been crucial for public sector organisations to be very prudent, but we are in a whole new space right now, I think. And when we talk about getting more for your pound or more for your buck, this is not just more work or better services or better product. It's about getting the added services. Yeah, the added services that deliver into the public purse alongside the contract. So carbon reduction, social value, sustainability are very real. And public authorities need to embrace all that they can from their supply chain. So when we go out to tender, yes, we want the best service, yes, we want the best product, but we also want those added services as well. So we've got to look to the suppliers for innovation and ideas to drive the change, in as many areas as possible. So yes, the modern day economic climate means commercial thinking in procurement is more critical than ever now, especially in public sector.
Fantastic. Yeah, and that I think explains it a lot further as to why there is a more commercial strategy and should be in public sector and in procurement and the way it purchases goods and services. I've been listening to some of the stuff you've been putting out there, some of the content, some of the podcasts, been really interesting, including the one with Hannah Quinn Hill, which I thought was really insightful. On that podcast, you mention around something called TECL, which is an exemption that allows local authorities to benefit from commercial practices while still maintaining public sector values. Now, I'm not sure that there's many people that really truly understand that. We don't need to go into the deep end of that now, but is there any chance you just give us a quick flavour of that, and then we'll be able to set up further sessions to go further into that in detail as we move on?
Yes, so TECL, I mean, it's fundamentally a principle of EU procurement law, which allows contracting authorities who have mainly been local councils up until now to set up an outward-facing business and to create a company which they either fully own or have part ownership of. And that company is primarily focused on delivering back to the local authority itself in the form of cash and services. So this company as well obviously can trade with third parties a lot easier. So Norse, for example, is a TECL company, or a TECL vehicle, as some like to say, and it's been set up by Norfolk County Council under the rules of TECL, or vertical arrangements. Norfolk County Council do not need to then tender services that they wish to pass to their TECL company. The TECL company does all the tender work and has to do all the procurement regulations. So there's also, I won't go into it too much, there's also horizontal arrangements as well called the Hamburg rules, but we won't go into that as well. So in a way, TECL is insourcing under the disguise of outsourcing. It allows local authorities to pass key services to an arm's length business of sorts and to sort of task them to drive efficiencies, cost savings and come up with innovation and ideas on how services can be delivered the most cost effectively. The local authority retains control of the technical company, and it can drive its values and its ethos and its rules through it, but it can also free up the company to operate in a more commercial world. So all technical companies have to follow public procurement regulations, obviously, because they're going out into the public market. But that fundamentally is what Tekla allows you to do. And that's the Norse joint venture model. We work with local authorities across the UK. They set up a technical company with us. They retain a certain level of ownership, and we work with them that way. So it's a great model to help local authorities and contracting authorities pass some of the more acute work to their arm's length business to get stuck into.
Yeah, I mean, when that's explained properly, and I know there's a lot more detail on it, just hearing that is a really good competitive advantage that public sector companies can benefit from if they know how to do things properly, if they know how to set things up in these specific ways. I'm not sure they'll do. We've just gone into it there, and really I wanted this to be just a teaser for people so they can have a flavour of what we're talking about. Hopefully that gives people some food for thought there on how they could potentially explore this, and certainly with Norse Group, you've already got that structure in place. So you're already doing it. So, please talk to us further if that is of interest to anyone hearing this. Just going on from that, then let's talk more about Norse Group's experience in competitive tendering, market exposure, and how does that benefit any other public organisation that doesn't have that resource or capability?
I mean, Norse, we've been operating in a wide variety of sectors and environments for a long time. I mean, not just for our owners, Norfolk County Council, but for all of our joint venture partnerships across the UK that I just mentioned. So what this means is that we have large scale exposure to multiple markets and multiple supply chains, and we're not just focused in one or two areas. We are not category managers, rather we've been able to develop a robust kind of system of compliantly tendering complex procurements for multiple businesses, which have yielded significant cost savings for our clients, but have also kickstarted other schemes such as product rationalization, AI opportunities, social value. So we've got such a high level of exposure because we're working one day within highways, then we're working within catering and food, then we're working within security, then we're doing building projects, and there's such a level of expertise and wide exposure. And we're all TPP trained. That's a term that not many people heard. That's TPP, transferring public procurement. There's a particular training program of which all of my team are trained on. So we can run PA 2023 compliant tenders very, very quickly and very sort of efficiently. So in summary, we're in a good position to help public sector authorities take a concept or a specification, whether it be a product or a service, and make it happen in a compliant manner and one that delivers the benefits they want. If they've got strategy along social value, or they've got sustainability, or whatever their strategy might be, we can take that and we can drive it, deliver a compliant tender, and also one that basically ticks all the boxes for them from a compliance and B strategy.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're as PSL delighted to be working with Norse Group on this venture. It's a really great string to our bow to be able to work with you guys and provide exactly what you've just said to our clients and customers as well, and any other public sector organisations we're looking to work with. From our background in PSL, as you know, I've got experience in the education, maths sector, NHS procurement, also working with purchase to pay, data cleansing, expenditure data, and in the last year, payments and accounts payable, which I see as the backbone of a really well-run procurement project, because you have to manage the day-to-day supplier relationships and payments. Is there anything you see within all of that partnership or that working arrangement that you see as a benefit to both of us, that organisations aligning with us could really benefit from?
Well, I mean, I think the partnership between Norse Group and our procurement services and PSL is unique because in regards, it offers both the back and front end support, doesn't it? That public sector bodies so urgently need right now. PSL can carry out some very in-depth analysis, highlight critical areas where there's commercial opportunity, where that commercial opportunity lies. And of course, myself and the Norse Group team can take forward that and make it happen in a PA 2023 compliant process. So you've got the expertise of PSL with all their analytical skills and experience, highlighting opportunities. And instead of stopping at that point, it passes across to us and we make those opportunities happen. So I think it's a synergy that can really, well, it can't help but bring benefit. I mean, at Norse, we're not masquerading as consultants necessarily, but we are simply saying if you are stretched for a resource, or the new legalities of the Procurement Act have you a little bit stumped, then this is where we can help you and help you fast. PSL have the financial expertise to support on all matters regards supply chain as well, and accounts payable, cash flow. And so together, we have a rather big and challenging areas, all very well covered. That's why the partnership works so well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and we're absolutely delighted to be working with you guys. I agree that it's a unique partnership, and we're just desperate to get that message out to as many public sector organisations right now as possible, because it's a really challenging time, as you just said, for all the reasons we've just spoken about. So that combination of skills, I'm glad you agree with me on that, is unique, and hopefully this is another way to get this message out to as many of those organisations that need our help right now as possible. So just coming on to the final question, have you got any success stories or examples where Norse Group and your commercial approach has significantly improved the outcomes for any other or the organisations you've worked with? Just be great to hear some of the successes already.
I mean, to be fair, it's really more of a question for our commercial team, isn't it? But all I can say is that we are supplying cost savings back to the councils that we have joint venture partnerships with on a yearly basis. From a supply chain point of view, we are able to link customers into our current contracts, which deliver benefits mainly through economies of scale. But some customers have other priorities, such as governance. And because we're 100% owned by Norfolk County Council, governance has always been very high on the must-have list. So unlike other offerings coming out of the private sector, we are able to offer not only the procurement, compliance, and the expertise, but also a level of governance and comfort that councils and other public sector authorities can feel very comfortable with. We're not just going to be talking about margin. So in regards to procurement for clients, we only launched this concept of the Norse procurement services a month or so ago, and we've already helped steer 3 key tenders that were running behind in the fact they needed doing before financial year end, or of course they were going to start in line with the Procurement Act going live. So we've found in some areas that unfortunately authorities have not been able to get themselves up for the changes in reform, but in most areas there's a real shortage of resource and therefore capacity, and these are all important procurements that have to be done, or they have to be pushed back. So this is where we've been mainly able to help on the procurement side of things. As a business over the last 10-15 years, we've been delivering efficiencies and savings as a group into all our joint venture commercial customers as part of the contract that we do that. So you've got that kind of, we do procurement and support our business, but we're also now adopting the external procurement services as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Simon. No more questions for me for the moment, because I want to save everything else for the sessions we've got coming up. We're going to be planning Ask the Expert sessions, where we'd love to invite you along to have the opportunity for our public sector clients and colleagues to come on and actually ask more direct questions about what this all means to them specifically in a safe environment. And we're going to continue to push out more and more messaging on this as we continue. So thanks very much for your time today, and very much looking forward to working with you and Norse Group.
Thanks, Max. And we are with you guys as well.